In this question, we will determine whether two functions are inverse of each other. What exactly is inverse? If you do the composition of the two functions amongst each other, that is f of g of x or g of f of x, you can see over here, when you do that, you must get identity functions for both, that is x and x. If you get anything other than that, then they're not inverse. So if two functions f and g are inverse functions, then if and only if their compositions are identity function. That is what it means. Now let's see over here. First, you need to do f. This circle means composition of g. What does this mean? And there is also g composition of f. This is very simple. This means f of g of x. What exactly this means is, what is the function g of x? That is 1 minus x. You need to put it inside this function instead of x. So basically you can see that's g of x, right? That is basically f of 1 minus x. What is function x, f of x? It's x, but instead of x we have 1 minus x, and then already there is minus 1. It's just that this x is replaced by this term. Simple as that. Whereas for g of x, composition of g of x, this will be g of f of x. So this is the other way around. You put this entire function inside this x. So here it's going to be g of, what exactly it is? X minus 1. And now here it'll be 1 minus this x becomes x minus 1. X minus 1. This is it. So let's solve it up. Here, what is the answer? It's going to be 1 minus 1. That cancels off. It'll be minus x. So this is not inverse, but I'm doing it anyways. Here it'll be 1, and this is going to be minus x, and plus 1 will be 2 minus x. This is not inverse of each other. You can just stop at this because it's not x. If it was x, then yes, they are inverse of each other. So we can tell these are not there because it's not identity function here. Only if it is x, it is identity function. So answer is no for that. What about this one? Let's try this. So let me just try the first one first. F of g of x. You can just write like this as well. Now here, when I start solving it, I'll substitute whatever is it. Since it's the writing exam, it's better to do some steps. Now what is g of x? It is half x minus 3. That's it. Now let's substitute in this function here. I will write it again. Okay, you don't need to write it again over here. We can just substitute over here itself in the above step. What happens? It'll be 2. But now instead of this x value, you need to put everything what is below. X minus 3 and then plus 3. Now you need to multiply this 2 inside. And since this is all multiplication, right? This cancels. That's enough. That's done. And you have x minus 3 plus 3. And what happens here? Yes, that is the correct answer. So these are inverse of each other. But I'll just prove it again. Let's do the other side as well. G of f of x. This means it is f composition of g. And this is g composition of f. Now here we will have, what is exactly f of x? It is 2x plus 3. That will be equal to half. Instead of x, we have 2x plus 3 minus 3. Now this cancels off because plus and minus. So you have half times 2x. Now this is gone. So you have x over here as well. Yes, this is inverse of each other. So you can just write yes, they are inverse. You have to write yes and no, right? Yes, they are inverse. So that'll be the final answer. Yes. But you need to do the steps as well here. What about this problem? Same thing. I'll quickly do it over here. F of g of x. And then we have f of, now it's 1/5 of x plus 1. That is equal to 5 times 1/5 x plus 1 minus 5. Now we multiply this inside. So 5 times 1/5 will be 1x. I'll just write x plus 5, and then we have minus 5. This cancels off. It is x. If you do the other way around, you will get the same answer. It should be x itself. Let me just quickly do it. G of f of x. Since it's the writing exam, I'm just going to do it both. Okay, the composition of f, composition of g, and g composition of f as well. So this is going to be, it's phi x minus phi, that is equal to 1/5 of, what is x now here? Phi x minus phi plus, now plus 1 is remaining. So 1/5 multiplied by phi x will be x minus 1 plus 1, because 1/5 times minus 5 will be minus 1. Cancels off, it's x. So yes, they are inverse of each other. That's it. What about here? When you look at it, you can say they are inverse of each other, because inverse of 2 is half. Half multiplied by x. So it's basically dividing 2, isn't it? So let me do it quickly. G of x, and I'm directly gonna write it over here. Yeah, you can write it, it's very simple, and it is gonna be 2 times half x, and it'll be x. Same thing, G of f of x, and we have G of 2x, that is equal to half times 2x, and that's gonna cancel off, and the answer is x. Yes, they are inverse of each other. Please do write that statement. Yes, the pair of functions are inverse, or you can tell they are inverse functions. What about this one? It seems, let's try it rather than guessing. It's h of x, and g of x. Let's do first with h composition g, that will be h of g of x, that is h of 1/6 x plus 3. And what's going to happen here? It's going to be 6 times 1/6 x plus 3, and then we have minus 2. So here it'll be x plus 6 times 3 is 18 minus 2, and here you can see it is x plus 16. So no, this is not inverse of each other, because your plus 3 over here minus 2 doesn't make sense, right? So no, they're not inverses. Now here it is x plus 16. And you can even try the other way around. It will not, but you can just stop. When one is not inverse, just stop it and tell no. And how about this one here? Same thing, f of g of x. And here it'll be f of 1/8 x plus 5/4. That's going to be 8 times 1/8 x plus 5/4 minus 10 x, and that's going to be 2. It's going to be plus 10 minus 10. Yes, this is correct. It is inverse of each other. I'll do the same thing with the other function as well, g of 8x minus 10. So I'm going to substitute this entire thing over here in this x. That'll be 1/8 of 8x minus 10, and then plus 5/4. So it's going to be x minus 10 by 8 plus 5/4. What happens here? You divide both the sides by 2, it's going to be 5/4. So it's minus 5/4 plus 5/4. So it's just x that cancels off over here. So yes, they are inverse of each other. So please do write, yes, they are inverse of each other. This is the main thing to solve. It's better when it's yes, do for both the terms. Now let's see here. Same thing, it's f of g of x. And we have f of half square root x, that is equal to 4 times half square root x the whole squared. This both things get squared. See, it's ab squared, that is a squared b squared. So here we have 4 times square of half is 1/4, and then square of square root x will be x itself. So here we have x. Yes, this is inverse of each other. Now we can try the other way around. It will be g of 4x squared, that is equal to half square root 4x squared. Now what about square root ab? That is square root a multiplied by square root b. This is square root b. So here it's going to be half times square root 4 is 2 times square root x squared will be x itself. And so yes, it is x. Therefore yes, they are inverse. You can just write therefore yes, they are inverse, or just write yes, they are inverse functions. You can write it from the question itself. So the answer is yes over there. And then here, what about this one? Again, f of g of x, let's substitute. Instead of x, square root 3x minus 3. That'll be 1/3 square root 3x minus 3 the whole squared plus 1. And here now, 1/3, when you square this up, it'll be 3x minus 3 plus 1. Now multiply this 1/3 throughout. It'll be 3 divided by 3, it's going to be 1. Only x, I'll write it out. Minus 1/3 times 3 is 1 plus 1, and it cancels off. It'll be x. Then what about the next one? It is inverse. You can stop it, but since the writing part, I'm just going to write it out over here. So it'll be f of, sorry, it's g of 1/3 x squared plus 1. That's going to be square root 3 times 1/3 x squared plus 1 minus 3. That's inside the square root. So when we multiply here, it's going to be x squared plus 3 minus 3, because you're multiplying 3 to 1/3, it's going to be x squared only. Then 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 remains. This cancels off. Square root x squared, that is equal to x. So yes, that is inverse. So yes, this is, see now they're telling because it's identity function, they both are inverse. Here then, same thing again and again. I'm just going to directly do this. So it's going to be x plus 3 the whole square minus 9. Now here, remember, we have to use a plus b the whole square identity. It's not a times b, it's a plus b. So this is going to be a squared plus 2 times ab plus b squared. And if at all it was a minus b the whole square, then it's going to be a squared minus 2 times ab plus b squared. Now here, it'll be x squared plus 2 times 3 will be 6, and then multiply with x, plus 3 squared is 9, minus 9. This cancels off, but you're remaining with x squared plus 6x. This is not inverse functions. You can stop over there. See over here, because of this, they're not inverse functions. Let's try the other way around as well. That is going to be g of x squared minus 9. That will be over here. Instead of x, we have x squared minus 9 plus 3. That is going to be x squared minus 6. So this doesn't make sense as well, isn't it? Now here we substitute this entire term instead of x. Now we are getting something else. It's not x. If we get one wrong in the first composition, just stop it. You don't need to do for both. But even if you do for both, they will prove that they're not inverse of each other. And this one, here we have f of, this is cube root 2/3 x. That will be equal to 2/3, and we have cube root 2/3 x. The whole power, see this x is substituted by this value, right? But this whole power, x is raised to power 3. So this entire thing to the power 3. That cancels off. And you're remaining with 2/3 multiplied by, here what happens? It's again 2/3 x. Now here then, it will be 4 by 6x, which says it is not inverse. They're not inverses. Now here we got 4 by 6. Now, my bad. It is not 6, 4 by 9. What happens? 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3. But still, you know, the answer is no itself, but make sure you do it right. And the solution set over here also has done the mistake. It's 4 by 3, which is absolutely wrong. Even my answer 4 by 6 was wrong. 4 by 3 is wrong. It's actually 4 by 9x. Let me just do the other side as well. If you're trying to do from the function g of x, that's also possible. You can do this first. 2/3 x cubed, that will be equal to, here in, see this cube root stays the same, but instead of x, what do you have? You have 2/3 x cubed. Now then it's going to be cube root of 4 by 9 x cubed. Oh wait, that's x cubed, sorry. 4 by 9 x cubed. Now you can split this cube root over here. That's going to be 4 by 9. And then cube root of x cubed will be just x. So this would be the answer. So now here, x, that's absolutely fine. But you have this something coefficient. So it doesn't make sense. It is not an identity function. So therefore they are not inverse. So no, they're not inverses. The next problem as well is similar. Now we will find f of square root x minus 6. That will be over here square root x minus 6 plus 6 the whole square. But before we square it, cancel this minus 6 plus 6. So it's going to be square root x the whole square. That's x. Yes, absolutely. This is inverse. We can try the other way around as well. It's going to be g of, what's the function f of x? It's x plus 6 the whole square. That's going to be square root x plus 6 the whole square minus 6. Square root and square cancels off you out. X plus 6 minus 6. You're remaining with x. So these are inverse functions. So yes, they are inverses. And here as well, let's try f of, see, I'm not writing all the steps, but initially you can write f of g of x. And then that means, what is that? F composition g of x. And now we can substitute, what is g of x? It is 1/4 x squared minus 5. That is equal to 2 square root 1/4 x squared minus 5 minus 5. Look here, this entire thing goes over here instead of x. Now this entire thing is x. Now it's x squared. Yeah, this entire thing is x, but then there's minus 5 already. So 2 square root, what happens here? 1/4, let it be x squared. Now this is minus 5 minus 5. It's going to be minus 10. Now this cannot be inverse. I think they're supposed to change the sign, but anyways, now this is not an inverse. Why? Because you cannot simplify this. You can, there's a constant term here, so you can tell this is no, not an inverse. Even the other way around, you can try this. G of 2 square root x minus 5, that will be equal to 1/4. Here we have, instead of x, 2 square root x minus 5 the whole square minus 5. Now here 1/4 remains. This is going to be 4 multiplied by 4, and we have x minus 5 and minus 5. This 1/4 and 1/4 cancel, 4 cancels over here, 1/4 and 4. But here you have x minus 5 will be minus 10. So no, they are not inverses of each other. So here we can see this is the issue. We cannot simplify to x. It doesn't matter what you do, there is some terms remaining. Therefore, they are not inverses of each other. That is the end of this question. I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, please consider rewatching the video or posting your doubts in the comments. I hope you all will head on to the next video.